Yo, I want to start off with the new Gloves Off podcast. This new podcast is run by our boy TonyD2Wild, Mr. Back at It Like a Motherfucking Crack Addict, and his partner in crime, Bull1tRC, aka Blase, Blase, Blase. And they brought in a very special guest, Scoop208. If you don't know who Scoop208 is, he's also a very big YouTuber. He got himself into a problem, right? He's got his own Facebook page where they do a lot of shoe selling, trading. They use him as a middleman service. And recently, one of the people he's been promoting, an admin in the group, has been caught selling a bunch of fake Yeezys, especially the recent, well, not the recent, but one of the most recent releases of the zebra Yeezys. And I mean, Scoop messed up. I mean, you can't promote a fake and get away with it, and promote someone selling fakes and get away with it. And you got to pay up, man. You got to pay your family all their Yeezys, man. But I mean, at the end of the day, he was found guilty of association, by association, whatever that means. I'm just going with it. Tony said it, so we got it. Yeah, that's the issue with Scoop right there. There's so many videos right now regarding that. If you want a video from me, I don't mind putting it out, but I mean, you can get all the information. I was there in that group, and I saw everything develop from the beginning till the end, or until now. So I actually know what was happening, but you know, just a lot of nonsense in that group. A lot. I mean, I don't even know how it's running. They even had to change the name, I think, to it. But regardless, Scoop was found guilty by association. He's got to do what's right and give back the money to other people. But this podcast was about him and turned out to be something different. I must note that in the podcast was a guy named RobDollaBeatz. If you don't know who RobDollaBeatz is, you will know soon, because he's been grinding for a year, I think maybe 2 years, and he's becoming very big. Well, he's going to become very big. You're going to be knowing about him in the shoe YouTuber community, the sneaker community in general. He's doing his thing, man. He looks like a good guy. He's got good information. He's helping out people regarding fakes, information maybe some people don't know. He's got this common phrase, 98 percenters. I mean, I have my own opinion on 98 percenters. You know, if it's fake, it's fake. It's fake, it's fake. I mean, but his content is good. You got to check him out. Regardless, all of their content is good. TonyD2Wild, Bull1tRC, Rob Dollar. And I have to admit, even though Scoop has got himself in a pickle right now, his content is good on YouTuber. He may be cocky. He may delete and block people off his YouTube and his Facebook group and be an asshole in that way, but his content is good. He does help with legit checks. He does help how to check what a fake, what's a good fake. He does have good content, you know. But you know, it that's just a small thing about this podcast, because you guys actually have to check the whole thing. It's long, but it's good. During the podcast, well, I have to note that there's another YouTuber named DJ Dells. And DJ Dells runs the show, the episode, his channel, The Sneaker Addict. You know how it goes. I'm an addict for sneakers. Do, do, do. And he put a response video regarding Scoop208 and the scam. However, he put in the title of the video, TonyD2Wild and Bull1tRC, and the title even included scam. So when you read that, you're thinking, man, Tony also? Bull1tRC also scam? And when you got a following, you know, people are going to say, oh man, they scammed too without even watching the video. So he kind of messed up there. But Bull1tRC had an issue with that. And during the podcast, DJ Dells had the audacity to call up Bull1tRC during the podcast, loudspeaker, and, you know, like, be obnoxious about it. Get angry at Bull1tRC as if he did something wrong. You know, I don't think they liked it, having their name associated with scam. They ain't doing anything. He was just going off on them. So, in the end, Blase had to hang up on him because he was being too obnoxious. But Tony did invite him into the podcast, and eventually he did come into the podcast. When he came into the podcast, he was still being aggressive towards Bull. I mean, he was talking about how he was gonna, I think, grab him, mess around with him, put his hands on him, and Rob Dollar came to the rescue. Superman came to the rescue and said, "You ain't putting your hands on Bull if I'm around." And from obnoxious, he went from 100 to 0 real quick. He was inspired by Michael Jackson in the moment. This guy moonwalked like crazy away from it. I guess he's a little scared of Rob Dollar because he was like, "I don't want any of that." He's talking nice to Rob. He's trying to during the middle of the podcast. He's trying to be like, "Yo, Rob, what do you mean by that? You know, like what do you mean you're not gonna let me put my hands on Bull? You know, like what's our issue? You know?" And Rob's like, Rob's cool and calm. He's like, "You ain't gonna do that around me." And rightfully so. You ain't gonna put your hands around him. And Bull doesn't want any of that. Bull's actually got things going on. You know, he's got money to make. He's got business deals to secure. You know, like what all he's gonna give it up all because a little fight or whatever. I mean, Bull. If you know anything about Bull, he's a nice guy. He's a nice dude. You should check. They're all nice guys in general, but you know. He doesn't seem like the guy who wants to fight or who wants to pick on a fight, you know what I mean? So, you know, DJ Dells, you moonwalk from that very quick, and I mean, I can understand why you wanted some of the attention because you washed up out here. Let's be real, you are washed up in the sneaker scene. You might have been someone big before, but you are washed up completely now. And there's a new wave, the golden generation has come. Tony D, Bullet, other YouTubers, some YouTubers in Canada. Canada's running it. You know, it's not just Drake and The Weeknd and Biebs. I mean, even the shootubers up there are running the game a little bit. So, yeah, you know, DJ Dells walked out of that quick. Wanted forgiveness, I guess, in the end. Rob's like, "No, you ain't gonna do anything when I'm around." Rob's gonna turn him into a 98%er soon. Make him look a little different if he put his hands on Bull, you know? In the end, DJ Dells did join the podcast and even questioned Scoop. And I have an issue with this because he was so obnoxious. He thought he was the man at the moment. And this podcast was about Scoop, but it actually turned about DJ Dells and how much of a fool he kind of looked, you know? He's like saying, "Hey, Scoop, you were showing fakes on your YouTube." And Scoop is like, "When did I deny that?" And he didn't answer back to those, you know? And I think Scoop should have went on with it because I knew what he was talking about. Scoop has never denied showing fakes on his YouTube. Scoop has been showing fakes on his YouTube. He's been showing people. He's been educating people, you know? So I know he's cocky and stuff, and he might not look like it, but you have to know a little bit more about Scoop to know. But his content is, "I'm going to help the people out here." He's going to help you know what's a legit pair of shoes compared to a fake. And DJ Dells thought he'd like pin him into a corner, and you didn't, man. You not only did you moonwalk against Rob, not only did you make yourself look like a fool against Bull, but you also made yourself look like you weren't prepared. Well, I know you weren't prepared, but should have thought about it at least regarding Scoop. Like, he never denied it. He's here to help people out when he can. And I mean, this podcast, man, this podcast was a classic. You gotta check it out. It's long. It was a classic. It turned from like a grilling session to Scoop and to DJ Dells making himself look like a fool. We saw some personalities. TonyD2Wild actually wilding out on the questions, you know. Back at it like a motherfucking crack. By the way, Tony, I don't like your new intro. TonyD2Wild, Tony Digital Wild. No, it's back at it like a motherfucking crack at it. Let's get back to that, Tony. All right? Regardless, you know, guys got to go check it out. It's good stuff. My opinion is Scoop has to bounce back from that, and he can. I mean, he's just got to ignore the haters. He's got to be a better person. You know, you can't just block people for having an opinion. I mean, if they're insulting you, I get it, but you can't just be blocking people. People do support you, I can see, and just hang in there, man. Keep making your videos. You're gonna lose some subs, but you know you can bounce back. Last night I took a nail, but tonight I bounce back. Yeah, man, that's my opinion on this. Washed up, Dells, Rob doing his thing. Tony's got a bright future with this podcast, I think. Bull's in the mix. Scoop will bounce back. It is what it is. Let's see the next episode. Man, uh, yeah, hit me up to subscribe. If you like the video, like it. I mean, if you don't, dislike it. It's cool with me. Follow me on Instagram. My name is what it is. Unfazed Quince. You know, I'm out here now. I'm on this YouTube scene now. I'll try to be. Let's see how it goes, man. Anyways, peace out, family.